This final episode, holy crap, it was awesome. It was awesome. 10 out of 10 episode, 10 out of um 10 out of 10 season. My god, this first season was incredible. But let's jump into the episode, shall we? So the episode pretty much starts with us pretty much knowing what we pretty much knew that Vanessa pretty much was the one that pretty much convinced Bullseye to go hire Bullseye to go kill Foggy. And so yeah, that was great. That was a pretty good scene to pretty much show us. And I'm glad that they showed us. I'm glad, that it actually showed us that flashback. So we then of course cut to Matt in the hospital, and surprise, surprise, we pretty much all knew that Karen was going to return. Of course, Karen Page. And so that's great that Karen finally made her return after all these years. After pretty much leaving in the first episode of this season, she pretty much makes her big return. Then of course we get to of course, Kingpin's whole plan is coming to fruition about like the corrupt cops and the corrupt people pretty much joining him and pretty much being on his side and to pretty much get rid of masked vigilantes. And we got a scene, right, where they're pretty much the corrupt cops are pretty much raiding. Some of them are pretty much raiding Matt's house, and of course, Daredevil shows up, and Punisher is pretty much already there. It was revealed that Karen sent Punisher, and they both pretty much go to town on these corrupt police officers. A few of them, anyway. Of course, Daredevil's using his billy club while Punisher uses his guns and his knives. Like, it is a fucking awesome sequence. It is a badass sequence, but that's not the only Punisher badass sequence we get in this episode. With that, then of course Karen comes in. But then of course a grenade comes in, of course blows up, and Daredevil looks at Punisher and says, "You're an asshole, Frank." And Punisher's like, "I know," like that really got a big laugh out of me. Like, now, was that Punisher's grenade? Maybe. I think it was pretty much. I think it might have been. Anyway, Karen comes to get both Daredevil and Punisher. They take them both back to Punisher's house, and Daredevil pretty much tells Punisher that Kingpin's looking for him too, and Punisher says, "I'll put a bullet in his big fat head if he ever comes to finds me." And so that was awesome. That was badass. And then of course some of the corrupt police force come and raid Frank's house. And however, of course, Punisher don't take that lightly, and he just, of course, goes to town on some of them anyway. Again, stabbing them with his knives, and it is awesome. It is like, yes, baby, this is the Punisher that we know and love. However, sadly, he gets captured. And I'm like, damn it, man. Damn it. Please, Daredevil, Matt, get Punisher out of that cage that he got put into. Please, please get him out, man. Please. I love Punisher. But yeah, though. Anyway, while pretty much all that was going on, Kingpin was pretty much having another one of his speeches, and one of his right hand men pretty much gets killed by Kingpin. Kingpin freaking like stomps on his face, and I think he even like grabbed the guy's face and like twisted it like this, and like freaking like, I was like, oh shit, don't fuck with Kingpin. Don't fuck with him. So that was cool. That was awesome. And Daredevil Matt pretty much says that they need pretty much a team of their own, and so that's what's it's pretty much going to happen. Pretty much, Daredevil's team against Kingpin's team, pretty much for season. Pretty much for Daredevil's team versus Kingpin and his corrupt police force and some of the other, I guess, corrupt government officials. And so, yeah, it's going to be a good season 2. I'm glad that that's where the episode ended. Um, gives us so much stuff to talk about when, of course, we get into season 2. And of course, I'll be back for that as well. I'll be covering season 2 just like I did season 1. However, really great season. I would put this season as my number 1 favorite Daredevil season so far out of the 4. The original 3 on Netflix, and now with this one is my number 1, at least in my opinion. Gave me everything that I could ever ask for as a Daredevil fan, and yeah, can't wait for season 2, and hope Punisher gets out of the cage that that he got put in. And so, yeah. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode, the finale of season 1 of Born Again. And yeah, with that, I'll be seeing you guys soon. I'll be seeing you guys later. Peace out.